Hi, my name is Luke. Welcome back to another video on this channel. In this video, we're going to create a trailing stop that is based on the envelopes indicator, specifically for long positions only. We'll make another for short positions in a separate video. Let's get straight into it. First, please click on the IDE icon at the top of your chart. This will open the MetaEditor. Then click on New, Expert Advisor from Template. And now we need to give this file a name. I will call mine Envelopes Trailing Stop, Buys Only, but you may name yours whatever you wish. Once you have named the file, click Next, Next and Finish. Let's delete everything above the onTick function. I'll keep the properties at the top, but you may delete them or add your own copyright details. Also, let's remove the two comment lines in the onTick function, and I also like to rearrange my curly brackets. Okay, so first we include the trade/trade.mqh file. This will allow us to open and close trades, and then we also add the ctrade class, and we will use an instance called trade. Then, inside the onTick function, we start with a static variable. This is a double variable for the last value of the stop loss. Next, we need to calculate the ask and bid price. We use normalized double and symbol info double for these, as we want to make sure we get the right number of digits behind the dot for the currency pair. We should always calculate the ask and bid price like this, as there are currency pairs with 3 digits and others have 5 digits. So for example, Euro USD has 5 digits after the decimal point, whereas USD JPY has 3 digits after the decimal point. Then we use an if statement to make sure positions total is below 1. And to open a test position on our demo account, we use trade.buy and we will use 0.1 lots. We also want to reset the last value for the stop loss, because each new position will require a new stop loss value. Now, the envelopes indicator has 2 bands, so for this we're going to need to add 2 arrays, one for the upper band and one for the lower band. We then set these arrays as series, and we sort the upper and lower band array from the current candle downwards. Next, we need to calculate the values of the envelopes indicator. We will need a name for this, so we will call this envelopes definition, and it will be of type integer. Now we call the iEnvelopes function, then we pass the current chart symbol and the current period on the chart. We then calculate the values for the last 14 candles. We do not use a shift value, so we can just set this to 0. We will use mode SMA, which is a simple moving average. We want to use the close price, and then for the deviation values, we will use these are the default values for the envelopes indicator. Now, to see this indicator in the strategy tester, right click on your chart, then go down to templates and save the template as tester.tpl. You can overwrite the current one. It can easily be changed back by doing the same thing later on a blank chart. So next we use the CopyBuffer function, and we pass the envelopes definition that we have created. For the upper band, we want to use 0. We copy the data from the current candle, which is also 0, and we want to copy the data for the last 3 candles, and then we store these values in our upper band array. For the lower band, we use 1. We copy the data from the current candle, which again is 0, and we want to copy the data for the last 3 candles and then store those values in our lower band array. To calculate the upper band array for the current candle, we only need to look at candle 0 in our upper band array. We use normalized double and 6 to cut it to 6 digits behind the dot, and then we repeat this for the lower band value. So you can copy both of these double variables and then paste them below. So it's pretty much the same, but this time we use candle 1, which is for the previous candle. We also change the values to last upper band value and last lower band value. Now we want to add some conditions for the stop loss. So the first condition is the last lower band value has to be below the current bid price. Then for the second condition, we want to check if the last lower band value is greater than the last stop envelopes value. If both of these conditions are true, we call a function that we will call check envelopes by trailing stop, and then we pass the lower band value as its parameter. Once the stop loss has been adjusted, we assign the last lower band value to the variable last stop envelopes value. And that's pretty much it for the onTick function. Now we need to create the function for the trailing stop loss. So we name the function check envelopes by trailing stop, and we pass the lower band value as its parameter. Next, we create a simple for loop to go through all of the open positions. And we then use position get symbol for the current counter value to get the symbol. Then we say if the currency pair on the chart equals our position symbol, we want to continue. To get the position ticket, we use position get integer and the parameter is position underscore ticket. We also want to get the current stop loss for this position, so we use position get double and the parameter is position underscore stop loss, or SL. Finally, we use another if statement and we say if the current stop loss is below the last lower band value, then we want to use trade.position modify to move the stop loss to the last lower band value that we have just calculated. And that's it. We then close the loops and we can compile. Now let's go back to MetaTrader and perform a test to see if this is working. We click View at the top of the chart, then Strategy Tester, select the file that we have just created, make sure visual mode is enabled, and press Start. Okay, so we can see this is working perfectly. Now just to be clear, we would not use this on a real live account. This is purely to test if the position opens and the EA is working. I just wanted to show you different ways of using a trailing stop loss in your strategies. That is it for this video. If you have enjoyed this and if this video has helped you in any way, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. If you have any questions or recommendations for ways that we can improve this strategy, please feel free to drop a comment, and I always try my best to respond to all comments as quickly as possible. Other than that, you can reach out to me via my website. You will find a link in my channel description, and I'll also leave a link below in the video description. You can also message me on Telegram. But for now, trade safe, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.